morning, everybody. It's great to be here at TM Forum, and I see a lot of great companies in the audience, so let's kick off the show. I'm Markku, and I run the Global Operator Partnerships at Facebook. And especially today is a very exciting time in the history of Internet and Facebook. So let's start with the Facebook. Facebook is a mission-driven company. For the past 11 years, we've been on a mission to give people power to share and to make the world more open and connected. And as remarkable as it sounds, this is the first time in the history of the Internet where mass communications at this reach and scale is a possibility. In pursuit of our mission, we've done some amazing things. We have created a community of more than 1.45 billion people on Facebook. And we have connected many more millions in our portfolio of applications, from WhatsApp to groups to Messenger and okay, so the groups, Messenger, and Instagram. So today, if we look at the state of connectivity on the Internet, we have on the planet Earth about 7.2 billion people. Last year, up to 3 billion people signed online. And that leaves up to 4.2 billion people offline. 90% of this part of the population lives in developing countries, where incomes are very low. And that is why the growth rate of the Internet is slowing down. People are not signing up as fast as they used to. And we have to work together as an industry if we want to bridge the digital divide and connect the world. And this is basically what inspired us to create the logo for this program. This is a partnership program, and that defines our organization to connect the 2/3 of the world's population that's not yet connected. So Internet.org is a partnership program between technology leaders, companies like Ericsson are part of the program, non-profits, local communities, governments, and experts. And we're working together to bring the Internet to the world. And as part of my work with the team, I work with many of the operators here in this room as well to connect more people to the Internet. So a simple question with a very complicated answer. Why are the people who are not connected to the Internet not connected? Our research shows that there's 3 primary reasons why not. Either these people don't live within the reach of infrastructure that enables connectivity of any kind, or there's a lack of adjacent infrastructure like electricity. Or the people might find these services irrelevant for their lives. Or they simply can't afford to buy a device, the connectivity, or related connectivity taxes, or a combination of these. Internet.org, together with our partners, is doing a lot to address these 3 primary barriers. So let's see who's within the range of Internet today. If we look at the Facebook usage data and combine that with some other estimates, we see that about 48.7% of the global population lives within the 3G coverage. If we lower that standard of access to 2G+, we reach about 91.7% of the global population today. 2G sometimes is not adequate for proper Internet access, but it gives a good kind of a scale of what this room, the operators, have been able to achieve. The remaining 10% of the population will be extremely challenging to connect with the current technologies and economics of today. So for places that are outside of existing infrastructure, where it's very expensive to build towers and radios, we have been working on project that involves unmanned aerial vehicles or planes. And we call this project Aquila. And Aquila means, in Latin, it means an eagle. We are going to build a fleet of drones, each wider than Boeing 767, but 1/500th of the weight. And these planes stay up in the air about 90 days. That's all very exciting, but it's still very experimental research. But this could be a way to reach the 100% of the coverage. And even this is only for the last of the last miles. The basic fact still remains that there's way less people online than could be online. And then the reason for this remains the second barrier, the relevance. Many of the people that are online, they remain online because internet today is just not relevant in any way for their lives. There's maybe not enough content in the local language, or they just don't know what's the internet. There's no single metric to define a relevant local language in the context of internet. But if you use Wikipedia as a proxy, an encyclopedic knowledge can be defined by having at least 100,000 articles in that particular language in Wikipedia, worth of one Encyclopedia Britannica. If we use that yardstick, we have 52 languages in Wikipedia today that match this metric. And that gives 53% of the world access to a local content in an encyclopedic way. To make it more relevant, we would need to have 92 languages to reach 80%. So the relevance is very, very challenging issue. Awareness is the second part of the relevance equation. We have been doing research in multiple different markets. Together with our partners, we have found out that 50 to 70% of the unconnected population are not aware of internet. If you look at India, it's as high as 69%, to South Africa, which is about 50%. And this is a very, very challenging factor when you look at how to grow your business. When people are not aware of the internet, there's no any kind of incentive to pay for data, obviously. And then we have a third barrier. In some places, it's culturally unacceptable for women to go online. And the third barrier, finally, is affordability. Simply put, most people that are not online today can't afford to be online. I mentioned devices, connectivity taxes, and also the data connection. According to Gallup research, more than 34% of the people today on the planet live less than $2 a day. In sub-Saharan Africa, that's 69%, 60% in South America, and 50% in Southeast Asia. Because these are the fastest growing areas for internet, we were looking at who can afford to buy data plan today. And first, we have to define how much data a person needs to be able to access internet. What's the definition? It obviously varies from person to person. If we use 500 megabytes a month as a yardstick again, the same 34% of the people can afford to buy internet with today's local data prices globally. It's a large study we did with Strategy And. If we restrict the volume of data and say that 250 megabytes is enough, the reach of the internet or the affordability increases up to 50%. And again, if we limit the number of data to 100 megabytes, we get to about 80%. So this is where our work with Internet.org begins. We are basically working with operator partners around the world to provide a set of free basic services for people to be educated on the benefits of internet. People will pay for the internet once they understand the value of it. So what are those free basic services? We strongly believe that everyone should be able to access a set of free basic services in the area of news, mobile health, e-education, communication, job skills, and employment. We want to connect people that are offline to the set of opportunities we all can share today. Together with the partners, we have made access to these services and the actual use of these services free, without any kind of a cost. And this is what the app looks like. We have made it as easy as possible for our operator partners to plug in. Facebook manages the infrastructure, so there's only one configuration to manage. These services are very lightweight. They're mostly text-based. We have taken out videos, JavaScript, and heavy media files. Because communication is a basic service, we have included a version of Facebook and Messenger to be part of it. Moreover, we have learned from our long-lasting partnerships with operators that Facebook in many markets is the biggest driver for people to actually buy data plans. The single biggest driver for buying a data plan could be messaging, but the use case is maybe a little bit more evolved than traditional text message. In many markets, Facebook even has a bigger brand recognition than the internet. If we go to sub-Saharan Africa, about 80% of the people know what's Facebook. When we asked a lot of people that do you use internet, many people said that no. And we had a control question with AC Nielsen. Do you use Facebook? 80% of these people said yes. So Facebook can be a driver for getting people online, and that's what we want to do with you. This is what a typical example how a content looks like. This is Maya, a women's health app in Bangladesh, which we just launched with Robi, available for free in Bengali, which is a local language. The broader availability of this application will not only give access to information and services for women, but it also helps to create more supportive society overall. And impact is what matters. If we look at where we are today with Internet.org partnerships, we have following countries live. The latest launch was in Pakistan last Thursday, but we are live from everywhere from Colombia to Indonesia. When we look at the metrics of the result of the partnership work we have been doing with our operator partners, we can reach up to 1 billion people today with free basic services. This means that in these countries, people are available to access these services by having a SIM card from a local partner, and that's it. And by our metrics and our own count, we have been able to bring 9 million new users to the internet that haven't been online before. And these users can access more than 100 plus free basic services today. All local languages. And this is just the beginning. So, what's next? How we can get people in this room involved? It basically begins with a change how you think about growth. A typical prepaid growth strategy has been very simple. You monetize first, you sell a SIM card, a top up, users will engage with voice and data services, and you spend money on marketing, and you grow your user base. This has been tremendously successful, as you all know. But the trends growing internet, urbanization, growth of middle class, more affordable phones, is basically slowing down. And the barriers we just talked about is going to take over, and the growth rate of internet is going to less than 10%. Our growth model is a little different. We do things backwards. We let everybody in. People with feature phones, smartphones, but no money, they can access these basic set of services for free, educate themselves on the benefits of internet, get engaged, find their friends online, communicate, and then once they are engaged, we help our partners to monetize these users. Because we believe in free and open internet, about a month ago we announced that we will open the internet.org platform to any developer to join, as long as they abide by these 3 principles. The first principle is the most important. It has to promote the exploration of the entire internet. We don't want to create a walled garden where users can only access a set of services like Facebook and Wikipedia. We want these services to promote out links to a broader set of content so people understand the wealth and the richness of the whole internet. We want these services to be data efficient. So basically, operators have been investing a tremendous amount of money to create this global infrastructure, so these services that our partners offer for free can't be data hungry. So we have taken out high bandwidth requiring media types, video, high resolution photos, high volume of photos, and file transfers. And our own applications abide by these rules as well. And the third is basically technical specifications. We try to make this extremely simple for everybody and scalable. And we are doing this because open inclusion and consumer choice matters. So we're working to scale internet.org by making it easier for our partners to launch, complete these integrations, and do a marketing for these to attract more data users. We are basically creating a new model to deploy these services. And we are starting to offer this in Africa soon, and we will be scaling it globally throughout the end of the year. We have incorporated everything we have been learning so far with our work with operators, and we have been building a bunch of new infrastructure on the Facebook side to smoothen this path to launching these services everywhere. But this is only the beginning of creating a joint playbook for internet.org in the industry. To make this more scalable, today we are joining TM Forum. And we want to create a dialogue to collect your feedback, learn from you, and create an industry best practices to scale this globally with less effort and less investments. We are looking forward to contributing to TM Forum, specifications, best practices, APIs, and even infrastructure. And we're also creating a catalyst project with few partners to learn and create these best practices first. So we want to work with partners globally to make the internet more accessible everywhere in the long run for everyone. So the internet belongs to everyone, and it should be accessible by everyone, everywhere. That's why we are doing what we are doing. The more we connect, the better it gets. Thank you.